नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य
जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुन्
पदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिने नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशवासिने। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण हरे
So Hare Krishna devotees, thank you all for joining today. Today we are doing a special session by His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. He is, just to give a quick idea on what Prabhu is. Prabhu joined ISKCON in about 2009. Since then, he has contributed immensely. He is a monk who lives in Mumbai. There is an ashram called HG Gauranga Village. Some of you would have visited. So he lives there, and he is very proficient in scriptures. He studied thoroughly and has authored about 30 books. In just a span of 10 years, he has authored. By education, he has done masters from Indian Institute of Sciences. I hope you know, to get into IAS is not an easy thing. Like top 10, 20 people in entire country get there. So he studied from there, and he worked for 2 years. When he was working, within 2 years, he produced about 10 research papers and a patent on his name. So very research oriented and also very spiritually enlightened person. And single-handedly he runs, Gauranga Village Vidyapit, which is a Vaishnava studies forum, which he makes the curriculum and everything. And he delivered about 7,000 lectures so far in the last 10 years, and authored 30 plus books. And some of his books are available there. And his focus is children education as well as adult education. So he brought a lot of value to ISKCON through his books. So the scriptures which are difficult to understand, assimilate the message, he made it very easy through his books. You can go through them, the scriptures which are, not easy to relate to. He made it in such a way that we can all relate in our life. So we'll hear on the topic of the holy name today, power of the holy name. That is the basis for the movement, ISKCON movement, because this is something that Yuga Dharma and Lord Chaitanya, who came 500 years ago, he inaugurated the holy name, Sankirtan movement. So it's a very relevant topic and very important topic for everybody in Kali Yuga. So he's going to enlighten us on the topic.
Hare. I welcome all the devotees for this evening session. I'm very grateful. Can come up. Yeah, thank you. Very grateful and thank all of you for having me here. Last 3 days, I'm having a very great time at Seattle under the loving care and affection of so many devotees here. So every day I'm meeting at least 3 families for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And also, on and off, I'm meeting other devotees at temple and those who come to visit me during the daytime. So I can see a lot of enthusiasm, energy, sincerity in the hearts of all the devotees whom I'm meeting at Seattle. I'm having very great positive energy here. I'm feeling that. Definitely, I'm very grateful for this opportunity. And your inspiring service attitude and your eagerness for Harikatha and also your enthusiasm in various services are some things that I carry home when I go back to GEV or in my further Christian journey. Definitely, it's a very memorable visit to Seattle. These 3 days just passed like 3 minutes for me. Although I'm struggling to still sleep due to jet lag, different time zones. So lecture time is my sleep time. Okay, sleep time is my lecture time. So I had to adjust that. But despite all that, physical, personal inconvenience, there's a lot of inspiration. The river of inspiration is flowing here, and definitely I'm bathing in that inspiration river. So I was asked by the organizers of this event to speak the glories of the holy name of Krishna. What can be a more enlivening topic than glorifying the names of Krishna? So at least 5,000 years back, the Supreme Lord Krishna appeared on this planet in a human form. And he very kindly and compassionately gave us the instructions of Bhagavad Gita. Right in the middle of Bhagavad Gita. It's quite close, but there in having Krishna. Hare Krishna. Better? Okay. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, how many slokas are there in Bhagavad Gita? What is the middle number of 700? 350 and 51. You can say even number, right? Middle will have 2 numbers. The sloka number 350 is Mahatmanastu mam partha Daivim prakritimashritaah Bhajanti ananya manaso Natva bhutadimavyayam. So this is the 13th sloka of the 9th chapter of Gita. Sloka number 350, if we count it this way. So in this shloka, Krishna spoke about who is a Mahatma. Mahatmanastu mam partha. So who is a Mahatma? One who takes shelter of Daivi Prakriti. Daivi Prakriti Mashritaha. One who takes shelter of Srimati Radharani is called Mahatma. Daivi Prakriti is Srimati Radharani, the internal energy. Okay. That's the first quality of Mahatma. Second quality, Bhajanti Ananya Manaso. One who worships Krishna without any deviation in the mind. Okay. So that is also another quality of Mahatma. Bhajanti Ananya Manaso. Third, Ignatva Bhutadi Mavyayam. One who knows Krishna as the supreme origin of all living beings. Right? So these are the three qualities of Mahatmas: taking shelter of Srimati Radharani and worshipping Krishna, knowing him as the origin of everything. So shloka number 351. Who knows shloka number 351? 9.14. Any Gita Acharyas here? At least Gita students here. Bhakti Shastri. So that shloka also talks about Mahatmas only. What else do they do apart from taking shelter of Radharani and worshipping Krishna? They always chant the holy name of Krishna. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridhamratah ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya. Sorry. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridhamratah namasyantasya mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. Right? So in the 350, shloka number 350, Krishna spoke about Radharani. In shloka number 351, Krishna spoke about holy name. Because Krishna Nama and Srimati Radharani are very dear to the heart of Krishna, isn't it? So Krishna said this about Radharani, about the holy name of Krishna, and he waited for 4,500 years. Looks like people did not take it so seriously. Right? So I told them, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam. They would always chant holy name of Krishna. Okay. But they're not chanting. And I told them they should take shelter of Srimati Radharani, but they're not taking. So Krishna became concerned. After he concluded his pastimes, human pastimes on this earthly planet, Krishna went back to the spiritual world and he started thinking, how should I make these people understand these two shlokas of Bhagavad Gita in a much better manner? They should understand Mahatma Nastu Mam Partha Daivim Prakriti Mashrita. They should understand Satatam Kirtayanto Mam Yatantascha Dridhamratah. Kirtan and Radharani. I should inaugurate this process. So he appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I told them to chant the holy names of Krishna. Looks like I have to personally chant and make them chant. Then he will chant. Then they will chant. That's what he felt. So sometimes when a teacher is teaching A, B, C, D to the kids, teacher also may have to write A, B, C, D. Teacher knows A, B, C, D, right? Many teachers here doing the homeschooling. So the kids don't know A, B, C, D, but the teacher knows A, B, C, D, but the teacher has to write A, B, C, D, right this way to show to the kid. Sometimes the teacher may have to take the hand of that little child and then write along with the child A, B, C, D, right? That's what the supreme teacher, Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. He is the supreme universal teacher, right? So the teacher of universe, Krishna, thought that looks like I have to personally chant the holy name of Krishna and then make them chant the holy names of Krishna. So he appeared in the mood of a devotee. Let me become a devotee of Krishna. Let me keep aside my godhood for a while. Let me assume the mood of a devotee of Krishna and then chant the holy name of Krishna and inspire everyone to chant Krishna, 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 like that. So which devotee? There are so many devotees of Krishna, and now Krishna, if he wants to accept the mood of a devotee, whose mood will he accept? The best of all devotees. Who is the best of all devotees of Krishna? Question. Radharani. So Krishna accepted the mood of Radharani and appeared as Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Is it clear so far? Right. So he appeared as Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu is Krishna. So according to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, written by Siddhartha. Right. So according to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, written by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a combination of Radha and Krishna. You see Radha and Krishna there. And you see Lord Chaitanya here dancing along with his associates, right? So he is none other than Radha and Krishna combined in one form, right? Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriter Haladini Shakti Rasma Ekatmanam Api Bhuvipura Deha Bhedau Gatautam Chaitanyakhyam Prakata Madhuna Tadvayam Chaikyamatam Radha Bhavatkiti Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. Radha and Krishna are one, right? But they have manifested themselves in two forms, one male form and one female form, for the purpose of enjoying pastimes, right? For the purpose of experiencing rasa, right? And Chaitanyakhyam Prakata Madhuna Tadvayam Chaityamatam. Although they are two, again they have become one in the form of Chaitanya, Chaitanyakhyam. How did this happen? How did these two persons, Radha and Krishna, become one? Radha Bhavatiti Sivalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. Radha Bhava means the emotion of Srimati Radharani. Radha Dhyuti means the complexion of Srimati Radharani. Right? So, here, the author of this shloka, Kaviraj Goswami, says that Lord Krishna accepted the emotion of Radharani and the complexion of Radharani. What is the emotion of Radharani? Being a devotee of Krishna. So he accepted the Bhakta Bhava, the emotion of being a devotee of Krishna from Radharani, topmost devotee of Krishna. And he also accepted the complexion of Radharani. What is Krishna's color? Black or blue, whatever you may call it. And what is Radharani's color? Golden color. Tadit Suvarna Champaka Pradita Gaura Vigrahe Mukha Prabha Parasta Koti Sharadendu Mandale Vichitra Chitra Sanchara Chakora Shavalocane Kada Karishyasi Hamam Krupa Kataksha Bhajanam. Tadit Suvarna Champaka. Radharani's bodily complexion is like that of golden champak flower. You see champak flower? It's a 5-petal wala. And that there is inside there is a little golden hue, right? Yellowish golden. Radharani's color is like that. Tadit Suvarna Champaka Pradita Gaura Vigrahe Mukha Prabha Parasta Koti Sharadendu Mandale. Mukha Prabha, her beautiful Prabha, effulgence emanating from her beautiful face is like millions of Sharat Purnima moons rising together. Have you seen moon on Sharat Purnima night? Right? Sharat season, autumn moon, somewhere in Kartik time, just before. Just compare, multiply the beauty of that moon and effulgence of the moon with 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000. That is Srimati Radharani's complexion. And Krishna has stolen that complexion of Radharani, or accepted the complexion of Radharani, and also accepted her mood, emotion and complexion. Mood of being a devotee of Krishna and the complexion of gold color. Krishna became Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he appeared on this planet as the son of Mother Sachi. Krishna in a human form appeared as the son of Mother Yashoda, and now he is appearing as the son of Mother Sachi. And he started spreading the holy name of Krishna. Chirada dattam nijagupta vittam swaprema nama mritamathyadaraha apamaramyo vitatara gauraha Krishno janebhyastamaham prapadye. Chirat adattam, Krishna thought that I have not bestowed this boon of Krishna prema since long time. Adattam, I have not given this as charity. I have given so many boons to so many people in this world, but I have not sufficiently bestowed Krishna prema on this people of Kali Yuga so far. So now I must do it. So Krishna appeared as devotee of Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, to give Krishna prema to everyone. What is this Krishna prema? New concept. Basically, the aim of our life is, the goal of our human life is supposed to be loving God. We're supposed to love God because we are all children of God. So as amshas of Krishna, we have a natural, innate attraction towards Krishna. We are supposed to develop that innate love for Krishna. So the goal of human life is to love God, and on the basis of loving God, you love everyone. What is love of God? Loving God means loving God, loving those who love God, loving those who are trying to love God, loving those whom God loves. Got it? Loving God, loving Krishna, loving those who love God, pure devotees of Krishna, loving those who are trying to love God, practicing devotees like all of us, and loving those whom God loves. Every single living being. Right? What's that audio, please? So, loving those whom God loves. Every single living being is a child of God. Thus, the Lord always loves every single living being. If you love Him, naturally we love everyone else. So that's the purpose of life. So how can we develop this Krishna prema, love of God, by chanting Krishna Nama? So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared as a devotee of Krishna, or Lord Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, a devotee of Krishna, to inspire everyone to chant Krishna Nama to attain Krishna prema. Clear? By chanting the name of Krishna, we develop love for Krishna. And that's the goal of our life. We agree with this? Is it clear so far? Is it getting too technical? Right? So, Swaprema nama mritamatyudaraham apamaramyo vitatara gauraha Krishno janebhyastamaham prapadye. So, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is mercifully, very benevolently, very munificently distributing this great treasure of Krishna prema to every single living being by inspiring them to chant Krishna Nama. That's the purpose of his incarnation, apart from many other purposes, right? Is Radha and Krishna combined. So, why holy name of Krishna? What is so special about the name of Krishna? Simple reason. If you want to love somebody, or if you love somebody already, either you want to develop love for someone or you already love someone, isn't it natural for you to constantly say the person's name? So you love Krishna, you say Krishna, 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 hundreds of times you say, you develop love for that person. Or if you already love that person, you naturally say Krishna, 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 right? So it's a means to develop love for a person. If you're constantly chanting the name of the Lord, it's a means to develop love for God. Now there is another element also. So love of God is like on a very high stage. At our stage, at the level of a normal, average, conditioned living being, we all may not be me, people like me. People like me think that we are the enjoyers, we are the controllers, we are the masters, we are the proprietors, we are the creators, we are something. There is a sense of false ego, right? There is a sense of superiority complex. I am good, I am this, I am that. There is a sense of overly identifying oneself as great, right? But if you chant the names of God, Krishna, 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 consciously or unconsciously are declaring that yes, this person is greater than me. Slowly you are developing humility, isn't it? So why are we living in this material world, rotting in this material existence, experiencing unlimited material miseries, so many difficulties? Anyone here without any difficulties in life? Here, please raise your hands. Right? So even if you raise your hand, I will not believe you. Right? So just because you raise your hand, I don't have any difficulties. I don't think that I'll believe you. So why are we rotting here in this material existence? Birth, death, old age, disease. Birth is such a painful experience. All of us have forgotten, but it's painful, right? And as we grow, and during the lifetime, we have to do so many things which we may not like to do. Anyone here who is doing everything in life that you like to do only? You are supposed to do something which you don't like also, right? Many times. In fact, the things that we don't like to do are more than things we like to do, right? Naturally. So that's how life is. But is there a possibility that I can do something which I just want to do? Is there anything that can give me permanent happiness? So can anything give me permanent happiness? See, why are we doing anything in this life? Because we want happiness, we want satisfaction. But whatever we do here, that is giving us some limited satisfaction. Can we get unlimited satisfaction? Whatever we are doing, it's giving some temporary satisfaction. Can we get permanent satisfaction, eternal satisfaction? Yes, you can get. Is there a place or is there a process that can give me permanent satisfaction, permanent happiness? Yes, that's the spiritual world. In the material world, because everything is temporary, we have temporary happiness, temporary pleasures. But in the spiritual world, because everything is permanent, we'll have permanent pleasure. So, to attain that permanent pleasure, eternal pleasure, what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to go to spiritual world. As simple as that. So, many of you came from India to America. Or somebody may go to different country. Why? There is a reason behind it. So you want some better career or some peace or something like that. There is a reason behind doing whatever you are doing, right? Similarly, you want to relocate from this material world to spiritual world for better happiness, eternal happiness. Yes, there is a process for doing that. And that process is the process of self-realization. Atma Sakshatkar Padhati. So that process of self-realization is different in different yugas. In Satya Yuga, people used to meditate for 10,000 years or 20,000 years. You ask them, will you take lunch? I have taken breakfast just 10,000 years back. I can continue for 20,000 more years. Don't worry. Then I'll take lunch. They have that ability. They can sit underwater also and do meditation for 10,000, 20,000 years. Here we don't have 10,000, 20,000 years lifespan only. Right? So their meditation is the process of attaining self-realization. Then later other yugas are there, they do deity worship, they do perform elaborate yajna sacrifices. So different yugas have different yuga dharmas. But here is Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga people have less lifespan. Prayen alpayusha sabhya kalavasmin yuge janaha mandaha sumanda matayoha manda bhagya pipatrikaha. Kali Yuga people have very less lifespan. Kali Yuga people also are not very intelligent in comparison to previous yugas, by the way. Right? So don't get offended. Eh? He's calling us not so intelligent. There are many intelligent people here, but in comparison to the intelligence of previous yuga people, we are little less. Okay, much less, not little less. Our lifespan is less, intelligence is less, patience is less, agitation is more. We are always disturbed, always misguided by different people, always distracted, illusions. So for such people, the process of self-realization has to be very simple. They can't handle so much. The pass mark has to be reduced. Indian people cannot even get 35% to pass the exam. So it has to become 30, 20, 15. I might sit in the exam at least. At least sit in the exam, I will pass you. That also people are not ready. Because Kali Yuga people generally get too engrossed in different kinds of material pleasures, in the 30% enjoyment, and they won't be able to focus on the path of self-realization. For them, a concession is given. Just chant this holy name of Krishna, you will transcend this material world. You will attain the spiritual world. That's the process of self-realization. Right? Kaler dosha nidhe rajan asti eko mahan gunaha kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta sangaha param raje. Although Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, dosha nidhe rajan asti eko mahan gunaha. There is one good quality. What is that? Kirtanadeva krishnasya. Just by chanting the holy names of Krishna, mukta sangaha param raje. You can attain self-realization. We can attain the spiritual world. We can attain mukti. That's the speciality of Kali Yuga. So the path of self-realization has been made very simplified. It's very simple now. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Krishna in the form of his devotee Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prema namadhutartha Shravana pathakatah kasya namna mahimna Koveta kasya vrinda Vana vipina maha madhuri praveshaha. Without Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, who would have had access to the nectarian sweet mellows of Vrindavan Dham? He introduced us to Vrindavan Dham. He is the one who went to Vrindavan Yatra, excavated so many holy places like Radhakund and Shyamkund and many other places. He introduced us to Vrindavan Dham. Without Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who would have had access to Vrindavan? Ko va janati radham paramarasa chamatkara madhurya seema. Who would have understood that Srimati Radharani is the limit of Krishna Prema, is the limit of conjugal rasa, right? So Srimati Radharani is the best devotee of Krishna, topmost of all the devotees of Krishna. Whatever little devotion that all of us have towards Krishna is just a part and parcel, a small amsha of Srimati Radharani's devotion to Krishna. If you're able to love Krishna, it is only by Radharani's grace. Right? Who is a Mahatma? Mahatmanastu Maham Partha Daivim Prakritim Ashritaha. So if you're a Mahatma, you're a great soul, you're supposed to take shelter of Srimati Radharani, right? Only by the shelter of Srimati Radharani, we'll be able to develop some iota of inclination, iota of inspiration or enthusiasm to serve Krishna, to love Krishna. Ko va janati radham paramarasa chamatkara madhurya seema ekas chaitanya chandraha parama karunaya sarvamanushchakara. It is only Chaitanya Charitam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Chandraha. With his great compassion, he has done avishkar of all these things. He has inaugurated Krishna Nama, Krishna Prema, Vrindavan Dham, and Radharani to all of us. Right? So Krishna wanted to glorify Srimati Radharani. That's why he appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and established Radha Tattva and her as the supreme worshipper of Krishna, Parama Aradhika. So we'll attain that Krishna Prema, following the footsteps of the supreme devotee of Krishna, Radharani, by chanting Krishna's names. So that's the purpose of Krishna's appearance as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what is the potency of this holy name of Krishna? What is the power? The power of holy name of Krishna is that It can mesmerize anyone into uncontrollably loving Krishna, uncontrollably getting attracted to Krishna. Krishna. In these two syllables, unlimited nectar is embedded. There is a great saint named Rupa Goswami. Anyone knows Rupa Goswami? He wrote a shloka about the holy name of Krishna. Very beautiful. Tunde tandavi niratim vitanute tundavali labhaye karna krodakadambili ghatayate karnarbhute bhespraham cheta prangana sangini vijayate sarvendriyanam kritim no jane janita ki yadhiramrutai krishneti varnadvayi tunde tandavini ratim vitanute. When this holy name of Krishna is dancing on my tongue, I desire millions of tongues, because one tongue is not sufficient to relish the sweetness of Krishna's name. Therefore, I need millions of tongues to relish Krishna's name. That is his aspiration. Tunde tandavi niratim vitanute tundavali labhaye karna kroda kadambini ghatayate karnarbhute bhespraham. When the sound Krishna is entering my ear holes, I desire millions of ears. Just 2 ears are not sufficient enough to relish the sweetness of Krishna's holy name. Therefore, I desire millions of ears. One name, Krishna, can make you desire millions of tongues to chant the name and desire millions of ears to hear that name. That's the greatest ecstasy. By the way, all of us have this potential. All of us have this ability to relish Krishna's name to this extent, but it's covered because of many other desires. So we should transform those desires into spiritual desires. Okay. So it's like when you hear a song, for example. Have you ever fallen in love with some song? Whether it is Tollywood or Bollywood or Mollywood or Collywood or Hollywood, some song, right? We are Tollywood here, right? So if you fall in love with some song, you feel like hearing it multiple times, right? At least till you get bored, right? So maybe you hear 100 times, 200 times, as soon as it gets released. And on top of it, if the song is your favorite hero song, or if the song is written by your favorite lyric writer, or if the song is composed by your favorite music director, okay, or the song is appearing in a movie which is made by your favorite director, definitely that song gets attention, right? Now this song or mantra, Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it is the name of our favorite hero, right? Who is our favorite hero? Krishna is our supreme hero, whatever title you want to give in the modern context. He is the supreme hero. And that is being chanted by Srimati Radharani, right? And that is being inaugurated by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And all the scriptures are saying this. Do you need any other reason why you can't fall in love with this name Krishna, Krishna, or this song of Hare Krishna Mahamantra? So, Rupa Goswami is very eager. Chetaha prangana sangini vijayate sarvendriyanam kritim. When the holy name of Krishna is dancing in the courtyard of my heart, all my senses become inert. I don't feel like enjoying and my senses plain. For example, you are watching a movie, on a screen, nicely. And the movie is so attractive, so engaging, so engrossing, and your eyes are totally fixed on it. Your mind is totally fixed on it. Your mother is calling you, come here, beta, come here. You are not hearing that sound only, right? Somebody is like, your brother is calling, okay, just moving your hand, but you are not responding to that call because it absorbed there. So even on a material plane also, if you are absorbing something, naturally, all other senses become inert, right? The holy name of Krishna has the ability to completely captivate our consciousness, completely enchant us and overwhelm us with so much ecstasy that we become oblivious to the surroundings. Holy name has the potential. No jane janita ki yadhiramrutai Krishna ti varnadvayi. I don't understand what great nectar is embedded within these two syllables, Krishna. Krishneti varna dvayi. Varna means syllable. Dvayi means two. Krishna. These two syllables, Krishna, contain so much of nectar that we really get overwhelmed by it. Right? So that's why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is constantly doing Varnan of Krishna. We also say this. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam. Ango Pangastra Parshadam. Yagnaihi Sankirtana Prayaihi. Yajantihi Sumedhasaha. Krishna Varnam. Krishna. These two syllables. Varna means syllables. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is constantly seen chanting these two syllables. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. He says, Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Rama. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, Krishna, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Shama. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pahi. In this way, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is constantly chanting Krishna, 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 Krishna Varnam, Tvisha Akrishnam. His Tvisha, his bodily complexion is non-blackish. Krishna word has another meaning, black. Okay. So he's not black, he's golden. Akrishnam. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Akrishnam. He's constantly doing Varnan of Krishna or chanting the syllables Krish and Na in a body, in a golden complexion. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam. Sa Anga Upanga Astra Parthagam. He is accompanied by all his loving associates like Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar Pandit, Srivas Thakur, Haridas Thakur. So all these great personalities are there with him. Right? So Yagnaihi Sankirtana Prayi Yajantihi Sumedhasaha. So he is constantly engrossing himself in this Sankirtana Yagna. He's chanting the holy names of Krishna and inspiring everyone else also to chant the holy names of Krishna. And he is infusing everyone with Krishna Prema through Krishna Nama. So that's the purpose of his appearance, and this is the degree to which one can relish the holy name of Krishna. All of us by default, whether you understand it today or tomorrow, whether you realize it tomorrow or after 10 lifetimes, all of us have to come to this realization that we are all lovers of Krishna. We are all servants of Krishna. That's our identity. Jivera Swarupa Hai Krishnera Nityadas. Our real Swarupa is to be an eternal servant of Krishna, and that service attitude can be invoked by chanting the names of Krishna constantly. Krishna, 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 Krishna. Like that. So this Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna mantra, has the ability to completely overwhelm our consciousness of Krishna Prema and remove anything that is unwanted in our existence, in our systems. So this Krishna mantra is glorified in various scriptures and various verses. We'll discuss few of them. Topic is glories of holy name of Krishna. So in the Mukundamala Stotra, Kulashekar Alvar, a South Indian Acharya, he says, and by the way, this chanting of the holy names of the Lord is not the method only for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Even all other Vaishnava Sampradayas also emphasize on chanting the holy names of the Lord. Right? Shatruchedaikamantram Sakalamupanishadvakya Sampurja Mantram Samsarocheda Mantram Samuchita Tamasaha Sangha Niryana Mantram Sarvaishwaryaika Mantram Vyasana Bhujaga Sandashta Santrana Mantram Jitve Sri Krishna Mantram Japa Japa Satatam Janma Safalya Mantram Shatruchedaika Mantram. All the Shatrus in our hearts, our Shatrus are not outside. We may say, he is my enemy, she is my enemy. They are not your enemies, by the way. They are also children of God. They are like you. Okay. The real enemies of a person are within: lust, envy, pride, greed, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsara, envy. These are the real enemies. Shatruchedaika Mantram. When you chant Krishna mantra, all the enemies within your own heart are destroyed. All that lust, envy, pride, greed will be destroyed by chanting Krishna mantra sincerely. Shatruchedaika Mantram Sakalam Upanishadvakya Sampujya Mantram. And this mantra, Krishna mantra, is being worshipped by, or established by, or glorified by all Upanishads. All the scriptures are recommending this mantra only, right? Sakalam Upanishadvakya Sampujya Mantram Samsarocheda Mantram. Samsara, our material existence, or whatever attraction we have towards material existence, is destroyed by this Krishna mantra. Are you still excited in samsara? Right? Are you not fed up? Are you not exhausted? Are you excited or exhausted? Fighting these threefold material miseries: birth, death, old age, disease, financial problems, relationship problems, what else? Health problems, so many problems. The material world is meant to exhaust us, not excite us. Right? And the so-called excitement that material world gives us is to keep you here, to make you more exhausted. Right? So her Maya's agenda is to exhaust you. To exhaust you, she will excite you. Right? So we think that it is excitement, but we get exhausted in aspiring for that excitement because it never excites you. And you're constantly hankering for that excitement. Maya will only excite you to get excited for more excitement, but there is only exhaustion in all these endeavors. Right? So, but by chanting Krishna's names, samsara uchcheda, samsara will be destroyed. Samsara uchcheda mantram samuchita tamasaha sangha niryana mantram. Sangha niryana mantram. You can retire from your attachments to this material world by chanting Krishna's name. If you want to maintain, beware, don't chant. Right? If you want to get relieved of this material attachments, then we can chant. You're invited for this. Right? Sangha mantram. Sarvaishwaryaika mantram. This mantra, Krishna mantra, can give you all Aishwaryas. What Aishwarya? Like Aishwarya? Money. This is not the real Aishwarya. Our Aishwarya is not dollars or rupees or pounds or what else, gold or diamonds or silver. Our real Aishwarya is Krishna Prema. We discussed it. The supreme goal of life is to love God. So when you chant the name of Krishna, you will be bestowed with the Aishwarya of Krishna Prema. All of us will be showered with the greatest treasure of Krishna Prema. Sarvaishwaryaika mantram Vyasana Bhujaga Sandashta Santrana Mantram. Bhujaga means snake. Vyasana Bhujaga means the snakes of our bad desires, snakes of our bad habits, snakes of our material attachments. Vyasana Bhujaga Sandashta Santrana Mantram. So by chanting Krishna's names, what happens is the name of Krishna will act like a snake charmer to subdue all the snakes of our material desires. Sometimes a snake charmer will have some special flute, right? Not flute. Some beam. Beam. They call it a beam. Like a beam. So that instrument he will just play and somehow subdue the snake. Similarly, to subdue the snakes of our material desires, chant Krishna. Right? Vyasana bhujaga sandashta santrana mantram. Jihve Sri Krishna Mantram Japa Japa Satatam Janma Safalya Mantram. You want to make your life purposeful, meaningful, fruitful. Janma Safalya Mantram. Then chant Krishna Mantram. Jihve Sri Krishna Mantram. With your tongue, chant the name of Krishna. The purpose of having a tongue is to chant Krishna's names. Right? There is no other purpose, right? Or glorify Krishna. So make your life more meaningful. So there are so many other yogis and other spiritualists. They try to attain liberation in 100 different ways, but we have very easy way. So Rupa Goswami says further in a book called Padyavali, he says that Yoga Shritya Papatti Nirjanavana Dhyanadbhasam Bhavita Swarajyam Pratipadya Nirbhayamami Mukta Bhavantu Dvijam Asmakam tu Kadamba Kunja Kuhara Pronmiladindivara Shreyanishyamaladhama Nachushadham Janmastu Lakshavadhi. He says that there are so many yogis and jnanis, they want to attain liberation. They enter nirjanavanas. Yoga Shritya Papatti Nirjanavana Dhyana Bhasam Bhavita. These yogis, they enter nirjanavana. Nirjana means secluded places. No jana. Okay. These forests do not have any population. So they go to such unpopulated forests and they sit there and meditate for a long time. 10,000 years, 20,000 years. Dhyana bhasam bhavita swarajyam pratipadya nirbhayamami mukta bhavantu dvija. In this way, by chanting, by meditating on the Lord, they think that they are liberated. Let them think that they are liberated. No problem. I have no issue. I have no insecurity just by seeing them. Oh, they're getting liberated. Actually, they don't get. Generally speaking. Because yogis, they perform yoga or some meditation, Ashtanga yoga, and they want Ashtasiddhis. Ashtanga yoga means 8 kinds of practices. Ashtasiddhi means 8 kinds of perfections. Right? They perform Ashtanga yoga, they do some dhyana, they follow yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, they undergo all these 8 practices, and they want 8 perfections. What are 8 perfections? Anima, mahima, laghima, garima, prapti, ishitya. They want to become greater than the greatest, smaller than the smallest, lighter than the lightest, heavier than the heaviest. They want to walk on water. They want to close their eyes and fly. These are different mystics in this. By these mystics in this, your heart will never get nourished. So somebody got some power to walk on water. Anyone can walk on water here? Without a boat. So they can walk on water without a boat. Say they got that siddhi to walk on water. Just for argument's sake, let's agree. Will that ability to walk on water give him any happiness? Anyone here? You know where they get the happiness from? They advertise that I can walk on water or I can rise above myself in water. Some people, while meditating, they go above the ground level. Right? What is that called?
Levitation.
Okay, whatever it may be. So they rise above the ground level. So will that give any special ecstasy to them? Right? They may, but is there any permanent happiness in that? Generally, you know, where they get happiness from? They make an advertisement, they make a poster and send them WhatsApp. So and so person is walking on water or flying in the sky. Come and watch. Okay, 7 p.m. CST, PST. 7 p.m. PST, go to that lake. He is walking on water. And all the people will just assemble on the shore of the lake and they will see this person walking on the water. Wow, they clap. Okay, in that clap, she'll get that's all. And while clapping, they'll also throw some dollars. Okay, take it. That's what these mystics in this do. But there may be other mystics in this, they have different things to accomplish. But in essence, mystics in this will not give satisfaction to your heart. Okay. And they may generally not give liberation also. Even if you assume that they attain liberation, merging to the effulgence of the Lord Brahma Jyoti, it's not a very exciting achievement. So therefore, Rupa Goswami says, Yoga Shrutyupapatti Nirjanavana Dhyanadha Sambhavita Swarajyam Pratipadya Nirbhayavami Mukta Bhavantu Dvija. Let them think that they are muktas. Let them think that they are liberated. But what about you? Asmakam tu kadamba kunja kuhara pronmila dindivara Srini Shyamala Dhama Nama Jushatam Janmastu Lakshavadhi. Rupa Goswami says, as far as I am concerned, I am excited with something else. What is that something else? Kadamba Kunja Kuhara. Just imagine there is a beautiful forest. This is not Nirjanavana. This is Kadamba Kunja in Vrindavan. Just imagine there is a Kadamba Kunja. You understand Kadamba Kunja? Kadamba is a tree, special tree that has round flowers. Okay, not like these petals, roses or shevantis. They have their round flowers like balls, and their filaments just come out like that, right? Like hairs. Okay, they are yellow, bright yellow. So just imagine there is a Kadamba forest, Kadamba Kunja grove. In the midst of the Kadamba grove, there is a beautiful lake with crystal clear, transparent waters. And in that lake, just imagine, there are nicely blossoming blue lotuses. Right? And the lake is filled with blue lotuses, and this Kadamba pollen, yellow pollen is falling on this surface of the lake, and you can see blue and yellow. Just imagine the beauty of that place, right? And there is fragrance everywhere. There is pleasant sight to see, and there is pleasant fragrance also. See, Krishna's bluish body with yellow dhoti is compared with this scene of Kadamba Kunja Kuhara Pronmila Dindivara. Means this scene where blue lotuses in that lake are surrounded by Kadamba pollen. That scene is resembling Krishna's form. So I am personally excited to chant the name of the blue boy Krishna perpetually and meditate on the beautiful form of Krishna, and this is sufficient for me. I don't need mukti. I don't need yoga siddhis. So Janmastu Lakshavati, even after millions of lifetimes, I just want this privilege of chanting the holy names of Krishna, who has such a beautiful form. Right? So in comparison to this Ananda, happiness of chanting Krishna's names, that Ashtasiddhi Ananda or Mukti Ananda is insignificant. That's what he says. Okay. So in this way, there is a lot of excitement shown by our great acharyas to chant the holy names of Krishna, and there is a lot of emphasis given by all these acharyas, Vaishnavas, recommending us to chant the holy names of Krishna. And as I said, this recommendation is not there only in this one Vaishnava Sampradaya. There are many other Vaishnava Sampradayas. So again, there is another beautiful shloka, Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya shloka. It says that He Martya Paramam Hitam Shrunutavo Vakshyami Sankshepatam Samsararnavama Padurvi Bahulam Samyak Pravishya Sthitah Nanagnanamapasya Chetasi Namo Narayanayetyamun Mantram Sapranavam Pranama Sahitam Pravartayedham. Getting too much? Too many shlokas? Sounds good, but it's understandable, right? So the shloka says, He Martyaha, oh, mortal being destined to die in this world. So in the Sanskrit shlokas, human beings are called Martyas. Very sophisticated address, it seems like that. But Martya means one who is destined to die. Because in the material world, everyone is supposed to die. In the spiritual world, no one will die. Right? So Martya, you want to enter the spiritual loka? Then please listen to me. He Martya Paramam Hitam Shrunutavo. I am going to tell you something which is extremely beneficial to you, ultimately beneficial to you. Please listen carefully. Who is saying this? Sola Shakra Alvar is saying. And you may say, I am very busy. I have 10 other things to do. Don't ask me to listen to you. I don't have time for class now. Then he said, Vakshyami Sankshepata. I understand that you are very busy in your so-called glorious activities, but Vakshyami Sankshepata, I'm going to tell you in brief. I'll tell you very concisely, don't worry. Sankshepa means concise, right? You are busy, I understand, therefore I'm telling you concisely. Okay, tell me, what is that? Okay, the hearer is saying. Then Kulashekar says that you understand your position? What is my position? Then he'll ask. Then he says, He martyah paramam hitam shrunutavo vakshyami sankshepata samsararnavamapa bahulam samyak pravishya sthitah. You know your situation? You have entered so deep into this ocean of samsara. Samsara arnavam. Arnava is ocean. You have entered deep into this cycle of birth and death, samsara, material existence. And Urmi Bahulam, this ocean has so many waves. What are the waves? The difficulties, the material miseries, the three kinds of kleshas. The difficulties caused by body and mind. The difficulties caused by other living beings. Mosquitoes will bite us, dogs may bark at us. Other living beings are constantly troubling us. Okay. And natural calamities, it is cold, it is hot, it is raining too much, right? So, samsararnavama padurmi bahulam samyak pravishya sthitah. We have entered so deep into this ocean of material existence that has unlimited waves of material miseries. That's your situation. First understand. Understand the problem, then hear my solution. Right? So understand the problem. So when you are drowning in an ocean without any knowledge of swimming, is it possible for you to survive? Absolutely not. And even if you're an expert swimmer, still you cannot survive. How long you will swim? It's not like, 1,000 meters swimming, 500 meters swimming competition. You have to finish in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It's not like that. Our ocean is thousands of kilometers wide, and you can't see the shore. You can't see an island also. Nowhere close. So you're swimming. You're getting exhausted. You're getting thirsty. There's water everywhere. But although in ocean water is everywhere, you cannot quench your thirst, isn't it? You still feel thirsty. That's how material world is. It seems that happiness is everywhere, but that will not satisfy your heart. Okay. So you are swimming in an ocean. Even with the expertise in swimming, you cannot swim for a long time. And on top of it, there are sharks attacking you. Right? What are the sharks? The six senses. The eyes are getting attracted to beautiful sense objects. Ears are getting attracted to pleasant music. Tongue is getting attracted to tasty foodstuffs. And skin is getting attracted to soft objects to touch. So like that, the senses are constantly attracting us. These distracted senses, attracted to sense objects, are like sharks in the ocean trying to attack you. So sharks are there, and you are not so good at swimming, and the ocean is very expansive, and there are waves of difficulties. How will you survive? So that's your situation. Please understand this. Okay. And okay, is there any solution? Then Kulshekar says, Nana gnanamapasya chetasi namo narayanayetyamam. Nana gnanamapasya. Please keep aside all your concocted methods of getting out of this material ocean. You might think you are gnana, you are great gnani. Keep that gnana aside. I am giving you a simple solution. Follow that. Your gnana will not protect you, by the way. Your analytical knowledge will not protect you. Only my solution will protect you. Nana gnanamapasya chetasi namo narayanayetyamam. I'm going to tell you one simple formula. Narayanayeti. Please chant this name. Narayana, 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 Narayana. Okay. Mantram, chant this mantra. Sapranavam. Along with pranava, omkara. Then it becomes Om Namo Narayana. Okay. Mantram sab pranavam pranama sahitam. While chanting this mantra, offer pranams also. Offer obeisances to Krishna and chant the names of the Lord And this is the practice for you. Pravarta yadhamahu, constantly do this, constantly chant the holy names of the Lord, you will be relieved from the samsara. That Krishna Nama or Narayana mantra is that rope that brings you, pulls you out of this material ocean and places you in a strong boat that can take you across this material ocean. Okay. So take shelter of the holy name of Krishna. Other methods are not that effective in this world. So this is the recommendation of several acharyas, right? So there are many such beautiful episodes in Bhagavatam that emphasize on the potency of holy name. One such story is, very popular story is Ajamil. So there is a pure Brahmana named Ajamil. And this Ajamila had truthfulness. He studied Vedas nicely. He is very respectful to elders. He participates in all kinds of pujas and yajna, japa, tapa, homa, etc. And he is married to a very, very beautiful girl coming from a respectable Brahmanical family and is very obedient to his father. And one day, the father told him, Ajamil, can you please go to the forest and get some flowers and fruits for the sacrifice? Please do it. And this young man, Ajamil, went into the forest. And on his way back home, he saw a very nasty scene, obscene. Okay. So one man, Sudra, and one Dasi, prostitute, they were embracing in public as if it were a appropriate behavior. So he saw it, and he suddenly remembered all the important instructions, Vedic instructions that are given to him. You are not supposed to see that scenes. You are not supposed to get attracted by something which is unfavorable to your progressive spiritual life. So move ahead. So he remembered all these Vedic instructions. He wanted to move ahead, but he couldn't. But he forced himself to clear that scene. So he left that place, but the impression of seeing that nasty incident did not leave his mind. It haunted him. You see, when we see something unnecessary, don't think that my interaction with this scene is restricted to only the 2 seconds or 3 seconds or 10 seconds of my watching. That creates an impression in the mind, and that constantly keeps popping up, right? And it pulls us into deeper meditation. So Ajamil became so distracted. Eventually, to cut the long story short, he has given up his worshipable parents. He started utilizing all the wealth of his father to please the prostitute. And he has also given up his beautiful, respectable wife coming from a good family. He gave her up also and started living with a prostitute. In the association of that lady, he lost all his Brahmanical culture. Because of undue attachment to her, he started living in very, very dishonest means. He started earning livelihood in very unmentionable ways. He was beating people, cheating people, looting people, killing people, kidnapping people, threatening people, somehow getting money and making his living. In this way, he had so many kids begot through her. And when he was at the age of 88, he had a small toddler baby. He's unable to speak or speak. Somehow, by his great fortune, he kept his name as Narayana. Okay. So that little child, hardly 2 to 3-year-old baby, so he's called Narayana. And this Ajamil is extremely attached to this Narayana. Narayana, please come and drink this. Narayana, please come and eat this. Narayana, come and sleep. It's time now. Narayana, please get up. It's in the morning. Okay, Narayana, do this. Narayana, do that. Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. Constantly he's chanting with great affection for his son, not for the Lord. Right? Affection for the son. So in this way, he lived his life for 88 years. And one day he became very sick, and his wife neglected him. He was lying on the deathbed, and 3 Yamadutas came. Ajamil performed so many sinful activities with his body, mind, and words. Okay, at the emotion level, expression level, action level, he is sinful for the last several years. So because he committed so many sins through his body, mind and words, 3 Yamadutas came to take him to hell. So seeing the twisted faces and fierce forms of all these Yamadutas, Ajamil became very fearful. And in great anxiety, he started chanting Narayana. When you're fearful, when you're anxious, when you're happy, when you're excited, you start remembering the name of that person who's very dear to you, right? That's why you have to chant Krishna, Krishna always, right? So who is dear to this Ajamil? His son Narayana. He's calling Narayana, 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 come here, come here, come here. But Narayana is not coming. That little child is playing nearby. So this boy, innocent child, he did not have the ability to understand the emotions of his father. My father is dying. This boy cannot understand this. My father is lamenting out of love and affection for me. He's calling me. The boy is unable to realize he may be playing there with his smartphone or whatever, some toys. He's in his own world. He cannot understand. Many times we invest so much of love and emotions and energy and time in some people, they may not have the ability or intention to reciprocate with our love. Right? In ignorance, we ignore those relationships that actually nourish us, and we embrace those relationships that actually neglect us, ignore us. So here he invested so much of feelings on this little boy. Nothing wrong for a father to invest feelings in this little boy, but out of his undue attachment to his wife and children and all the sinful means of living, he neglected the Lord. That's the issue with him. So Ajamil, he was calling Narayana, 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 Narayana. The boy is not coming. Yamadutas were there trying to take the soul from his heart and take him to Yamalok. Then when he chanted Narayana, 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 the boy did not respond because the boy is not Narayana. Original Narayana responded because the name and Narayana are non-different. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nityamukto Abhinnatvan Nama Naminaha. There is no difference between the Nama and Nami. So in the material world, a person may have a name and he may have some qualities, they both may not match. But in the spiritual circles, the person and the name of the person are non-different. So when he chanted Narayana, the original Lord Narayana responded because this name is Narayana directly, but the boy is not Narayana. Boy did not respond, God responded. Okay, so he said, because he chanted Narayana, 4 syllables of my name, 4 Vishnudutas come here, go and rescue this Ajamil. So 4 Vishnudutas came there. So to counteract 3 Yamadutas, we don't need 4 Vishnudutas. But somehow Lord had sent 4 Vishnudutas. 3 Yamadutas, 4 Vishnudutas. Okay, confronted. Big discussion. To cut the long story short, these 4 Yamadutas, 4 Vishnudutas chased the 3 Yamadutas away and saved Ajamil. And gave him a second chance. By the way, the message of Ajamil's story is not that do whatever you want throughout your life. At the end, chant Narayana. Sufficient. Right? And then Narayana Smriti. So that's not the message of this story, by the way. And that's what I'm telling you. Ajamil did not immediately go to Vaikuntha. Ajamil was just given a second chance. So then he went to Haridwar and chanted the names of the Lord for 12 years. And after 12 years, Vaikuntha airplane came and took him to Vaikuntha. Okay. So if Ajamil chanted the name of Narayana without faith, what will happen if he chant the name of the Lord with faith? If Ajamil chanted the name of the Lord to indicate his son, what will happen if he chant the name of the Lord to indicate the Lord? Ajamil chanted with a sinful background. What will happen if he chant the name of the Lord by following the 4 regulative principles? Ajamil chanted at the time of death. What will happen if you chant throughout your lifetime? Therefore, this Ajamil episode is encouraging us to constantly chant the holy names of the Lord with all love and affection, investing your feelings and emotions to the best of your ability. You may not get tears immediately. It's not your sadhana. Okay, sit straight, back, erect, chant the holy name, now cry. It doesn't work like that. So tears will come when you develop love. Okay. So tears will come when you sincerely chant the holy names of the Lord, and one day you will be infused with the love of Lord. Then tears will automatically come out of love, out of affection. So now, after being defeated by the Vishnu Dutas, all the Yamadutas went to Yamalok and challenged Yamaraj. Yamaraj, you have sent us to get Ajamil to hell. Some 4 effulgent personalities came and cut our ropes, and they have chased us away. What's happening here? So bring all these Vishnu Dutas to Yamalok, punish them in front of us. Then only we'll accept that you are our master. Otherwise, we'll think that we are serving a firefly. All the Yamadutas challenge Yamaraj like this. Then Yamaraj said, foolish people, can't you understand the potential of holy name? Just by chanting Narayana mantra, Ajamal was rescued. Can't you understand the potential of holy name? Then Yamaraj said, that's what our problem is. And you're giving the same example to convince us. Yeah, I did a mistake. My dear Lord, please forgive me and forgive my innocent or ignorant Yamadutas also. We have offended your devotee. Because just by chanting the name Narayana, once offenselessly, your devotee Ajamil has been completely purified of all sinful reactions. It is said that if we chant the holy name of the Lord, either Narayana or Krishna, Rama, Narasimha, Varaha, Vamana, Matsya, Kurma, whatever, if we chant the holy name of the Lord without any offenses, then the potency of the holy name of the Lord can destroy all the offenses that we can possibly commit and much more than that. In fact, we don't have the ability to commit so many sins that one holy name can eradicate. We don't have the potency to commit so many sins also. The holy name's potency is so much. So, the holy name of Krishna is so potent that even one sincere chanting can destroy unlimited sinful reactions, just like one little matchstick. One little matchstick can burn a big pile of dry grass. It may be 1 ton dry grass, but you just put one matchstick, in a few minutes everything is gone. Okay. So one effective medicine can destroy the disease. Similarly, one sincere chanting of the holy name of Krishna can destroy all sinful reactions. Forget sinful reactions. This holy name of Krishna will destroy even sinful desires also, sinful inclinations also. The more you chant the names of Krishna, the more you will be disinclined to perform any sinful activities. The purity of heart will automatically manifest. That's the power of holy name of Krishna. If you purely chant the holy name of Krishna, heart is purified, you don't even feel like eating meat. You don't even feel like committing some sin. You don't feel like even maintaining any illicit connections. You don't feel like gambling. You don't feel like doing any sinful activities, right? So that sinful propensity is killed. Naturally, sinful reactions are gone, right? Whatever sinful reactions have already been accumulated so far are destroyed. And whatever sinful activities that we are going to commit in future are also destroyed. Okay, by chanting the holy names of the Lord. And this destruction of sinful reactions or activities is one small effect of holy name only. Ultimately, what holy name can give us is Krishna Prema. Okay, so that's why it is said that this holy name of Krishna is an abode of all auspiciousness. Okay, I was speaking about this story, right? All these Yamadutas went to Yamaraj and challenged him. Why this 4 Vishnu Dutas came and cut our ropes and saved Ajamil in this way? Then Yamaraj said, I'm going to dictate some instructions, write them nicely, write in bold letters, put in notice board of Yamalok. Whenever you are going with your ropes to capture all sinful people, see that notice board. Read that instructions very carefully. Read our policies and protocols nicely, and then go and capture sinful people. What is that policy? Yamaraj's policy. The policy of Yamalok. Jihva navakti bhagavad gunana madheyam chetascha nasmarati tacharana ravindam Krishnaya no namati yachira ekadapi tananavadhyama sato krita Vishnu krutyan. Whom should you bring to Yamalok? Read this shloka. Jihvanavatti bhagavad gunanamadheyam. A person who has never chanted the name of Krishna with his tongue even once, he should be brought to hell. Chetaschana smarati taccharanara vindam. A person who has not remembered the name of Krishna within his mind even once, bring him to hell. Okay. So Krishnaya no namati yachira ekadapi. A person who has not offered obeisances unto Krishna even once, bring that people to hell. While Akrita Vishnu Krityan, they have not performed any devotional activities, they are supposed to be brought to hell. Don't bring people those who chant the holy names of Krishna. Don't bring people those who are offering obeisances to Krishna. Don't bring people who are remembering Krishna. So you chant Krishna's names, Yamaraj will join you in Kirtan. He doesn't have time to take you to hell. Right? So if you sincerely chant the names of the Lord and glorify Krishna, Yamaraj will be eager to sit in that Kirtan and Harikatha. So there is no possibility of we going to hell. So, and by the way, escaping hell is not the only product of chanting the holy name. We attain Krishna from ultimate, we enter the spiritual world. So, but Yamaraj is saying this, that please write this protocol very boldly in our notice board, right? So, since then, whenever the devotees see, whenever Yamadutas see devotees, they will run away. Yamadutas will not come to you. They will see you, they will run away from there. While there is bead bag in our hand, right? When there is bead bag in our hand, they will think that this bead bag this mala is more powerful than our Yamapasha, right? So this Bhagavatam book in his hand is more powerful than our gada that we are holding. So they just run away. Te deva siddha parigita pavitra gatha ye sadhavah samadrisho bhagavat prapanna tannopasidata harer gadaya bhigutta naisham nachavayah prabhavama dande. The second policy. One policy, whom to bring to hell. Next policy is whom not to bring to hell. Okay. Yamaraj is saying, Te deva siddha parigita pavitra gatha. The glories of great devotees who are chanting the holy names of Krishna, they are sung even by great devatas. Even devatas also glorify if you chant the holy names of Krishna sincerely. Te deva siddha parigita pavitra gatha ye sadhavah samadrisho bhagavat prapanna. Such sadhus are completely surrendered unto the Lord. Chanting the holy name of the Lord means to express your surrender in front of Krishna. You are admitting Krishna, you are the supreme and I am your subordinate. If you chant Krishna, 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 multiple times you chant. The more you chant, the more you are expressing your surrender in front of Krishna. Right? So, Te deva siddha parigita pavitra gata ye sadhavah samudursho bhagavat prapannaha tanno apasidata harer gadaya bhiguttan. Please don't approach such people, my dear Yamadutas. Yamaraj is saying. Why? Harer gadaya bhiguttan. Lord Hari has a gada. What is the name of Lord Hari's gada? Sudarshan Chakra. Gada, I am asking gada. Club. What is the name of gada? The Lord? Anyone here? Any kids here? Kaumodaki, correct. Kaumodaki gada. This Kaumodaki gada is constantly encircling the devotees, and if anyone enters that circle, Gada will just beat their head. Right? Gada is always tainted with the blood of these demons. So Yamadutas don't go there. So chant the holy name of the Lord. Krishna's Kaumodaki Gada will just circle you. Right? So this is what Yamaraj told. Even Yamadutas become fearful if the name of Krishna is dancing on your tongue. And bead bag is there in your hand. Not that you are sleeping. When bead bag means is there in your hand means you are also chanting. Okay. So the name of Krishna is an abode of all auspiciousness. That's why it says Kalyananam nidhanam kalimalamathanam pavanam pavanam patheyam yanmumuksho paripada praptaye pukshamanam Vishramasthanamakam kavivaravachasam jivanam sajjananam bijam dharma dhrumasya Prabhavatu bhavato bhutaye Krishna nama Kalyananam Nidhanam. This holy name of Krishna is a Nidhanam. Nidhanam is treasure of all Kalyanas, means auspiciousness. Kalyananam Nidhanam Kalimala Mathanam Pavanam Pavananam. Kalimala Mathanam. This holy name of Krishna can completely destroy the mala, contamination of Kali. Pavanam Pavananam. Of all the purifying agents, the most purifying agent is Harinam. Krishnana. Pavanam Pavanam Patheyam Yanmumukshoho Sapariparapadam Prataye Prokchamanam. Patheyam Yanmumuksho means you are traveling. You are traveling. So in the olden days, people did not have flights. They don't have buses, cars. So they used to travel by foot. They carry some food in their hands. They will travel from one place to another place. So while traveling, they need some food and they also need some rest. How long you can walk? 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, 9 kilometers, 20 kilometers. You have to take some pause, right? So they find some nice Vishrama Sthana. They find some nice spot, park, little garden where there's some shade. They'll go and take some shelter, right? So we are also travelers. Where are we traveling? From where? What is our source and destination? Anyone here? We're all travelers. Huh? Birth to death. Okay, that's good. Birth to death is our one travel, one journey. Okay, any other journey that all of us are doing now? From material world to spiritual world. That's our journey, real journey. But anyways, it will happen inevitably without our effort. But we have to put our effort to travel from material world to spiritual world. In this journey, long journey to the spiritual realm, Vishramasthanamakam Kavivaravachasam Jivanam Sajjananam. We need some resting place, right? That resting place is holy name of Krishna, right? We need some food, right? That food is also holy name of Krishna. Basically, the shloka says that when you're going to the spiritual world, the food that nourishes you is Japamala, is Krishna Nam. Or the place that gives you some rest and solace when you're struggling with this material world. Material misery is Krishna Nam. When you're walking, you get tired, right? You need to take some rest. Similarly, when you're struggling in this material world, you need some rest, right? Holy name can give you that rest. You need some food, right? Holy name can give you that food. Vishramasthanamakam Kavivaravachasam Jivanam Sajjananam. Jivanam Sajjananam. Sajjan means good people. So this holy name of Krishna is the Jivanam, the life of all such good people. Patheyam Yanmumuksho Sapariparapada Praptaye Putrujjamanam Vishramasthanamakam Kavivaravachasam Jivanam Sajjananam Bijam Dharmadrumasya Prabhavatu Bhavato Bhutaye Krishna Nama. It's the Bijam. It is the seed of Dharma Dharma. The whole tree of Bhagavata Dharma is based on the seed of Krishna Nama. So therefore, let us take shelter of the holy name of Krishna. What's the time now? 9 o'clock. I didn't realize. I'm sorry about that. So there are thousands of more such glories of holy name of Krishna. We discussed a few tonight. Sorry for going beyond time. I didn't realize this. Okay. Thank you very much. So let us sincerely take shelter of the holy name of Krishna. Despite all our disqualifications, distractions, if we sincerely beg for Krishna's mercy, Radharani's mercy, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, they will bestow the necessary attention into us, necessary mercy upon us to be able to chant the holy names of Krishna and reach their lotus feet. So let us pray to all the acharyas to give us the strength to chant the holy names of the Lord. So this prayer, let's conclude today's session. Holyname Prabhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada. I don't mind. Please see the time. Anyone has any questions?
If anyone has any questions, please raise your hand. Speak loud. So
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, just an observation, like I've always seen all the monks, all the saints wearing orange, and the color of Hinduism is also orange. So just wanted to understand why is it that, like what is the importance of orange? Why?
It represents. She's asking why monks are wearing orange. When I went for US visa. Visa person, the interviewer first asked, is orange your favorite color? I said, I'm a monk. That means orange is their favorite color. I said, okay, give me visa. Therefore, I came here now. Yeah, it represents renunciation, detachment. This is fire, right? Fire is in this color. So in fire, everything burns. So this represents that we are aspiring to burn our material desires, burn whatever is unwanted on our way to the spiritual world, to the lotus feet of Krishna. It represents detachment. And so many people have accepted this cloth, and we are also accepting. And by the way, cloth doesn't matter. Cloth, hairstyle doesn't matter, right? So you can travel in cars. You can wear a crown. You can wear colorful dresses. You can wear diamond ornaments, and you can chant Hare Krishna. No issue, right? So it's not about the order of renunciation that's required. It's the spirit of renunciation that is required. If you have the spirit of detachment from anything material, and if you have that spirit of attachment to Krishna, your dress, your gender, your nationality, your caste, creed, any such external consideration has no relevance. You can attain Krishna, right? So some people prefer to be in this way, some people prefer to be in that way. That's okay, it's external. But what is more important is dedication to chant the holy names of Krishna, and dedication in loving the Lord.
So I have a question on Hare Krishna mantra. So in that mantra we have Krishna and Rama, right? And Lord Chaitanya Prabhu is the combination of Radharani plus Krishna, right? And Radharani is the highest devotee of Krishna, right? So why did he pronounce the Rama and Krishna both?
Ram, Krishna, Narasimha, Varaha, Vamana, Matsya, Kurma, they're all different forms of the same God. Okay, coming to the Hare Krishna mantra, there is Rama and there is Krishna. Rama and Krishna, both are the names of the same Lord. Krishna means one who is all attractive. Rama means one who is the supreme enjoyer, and he also gives supreme enjoyment. So both names are referring to the same Lord. Okay, so it's the mood in which we are chanting. It's not, there's no, if you consider that Rama as Lord Ramachandra, Raghava Rama, or you consider Rama as Krishna, or Balarama, or Parashurama. So you're basically referring to the same Lord. So,
I think he wants to clarify where is Radharani in that? Hare.
oh, like that? Hare, the word Hare refers to Radharani, the energy of it.
Okay. Hare part is
Hare is Radharani, and Rama and Krishna both are referring to the same Lord. Does it answer the question?
Yeah. And so you said also Om Narayana, right? So we should chant this one or that?
No, different sampradayas, I was quoting different shlokas that support that different Vaishnava sampradayas emphasize on the process of chanting the names of the Lord. So in one sampradaya chants that mantra, another sampradaya chants with this mantra. So basically being connect in connection with the Lord. The Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is recommended mantra in this Vaishnava sampradaya. Yes.
So we all are like, I think 90-95% of the people here are just in the process of following the steps of Radharani and Krishna. And we all are in the material world, and we are all suffering to an extent, maybe 99%, 99.99%. So you are already a monk, and you already achieved a lot in terms of going towards a spiritually ahead of everybody of us here. So to an extent,
Okay.
to an extent, at least, right? So that's why we're listening, you're speaking, right? So how much you are suffering.
I'm suffering jet lag now.
No, apart from jet lag,
Okay.
you are away from this material attraction
Hmm.
when compared to many of us here, right? So, and
Basically, suffering depends on how much you identify with the body. If you identify yourself as a servant of Krishna and accepting whatever inconveniences are there on this path of spiritual life to embrace that identity as servant of Krishna and serve Krishna, that so-called suffering is also happiness. On the material plane, suffering is suffering, happiness is also suffering. On spiritual plane, happiness is happiness, suffering is also happiness. Okay. So spiritual plane is absolute. Okay. So if you ask my case, when I identify myself as servant of Krishna, I'm happy. Although apparently I'm having some inconvenience. But whenever I forget my identity as servant of Krishna, that's what I say.
Maybe give some examples.
Hmm.
General terms, how do you see versus how others?
Um,
Or maybe before you came to Krishna.
Yes, yes. See, suffering exists, whether it is for a devotee or someone who is not practicing devotional service, bhakti, suffering exists. But you don't get affected by it. You don't get overwhelmed by it. Because we understand the temporary nature of suffering. Okay. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Matra sparshastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkhadaha agamapayino nityaha tamstikshasva bharata. So when a practicing devotee is suffering, he understands that the suffering is not permanent. And a practicing devotee experiences some happiness on a material plane. He understands that this happiness is also temporary. Okay. When you understand the temporary nature of this happiness and suffering, you don't get affected by it. Right? So what I would say is suffering will not become zero just because you are chanting Hare Krishna. But that suffering which continues to exist will not overwhelm you, will not affect you. You will be able to see the hand of God behind that suffering. I went through so many health challenges, many other issues. But I saw that, oh, Krishna, thank you very much for arranging this suffering in my life, so that I'm purified of all the misdeeds that I have done in the past, so that I become more helpless and desperate in depending on you in the situation of suffering. Because when there is suffering, the feeling of dependence on Krishna will be intensified, right? When you are materially very comfortable, we forget God. But when you are in an uncomfortable situation, we become more prayerful, isn't it?
Yes.
So if that suffering is helping you connect with God, that suffering is blissful. The suffering is bliss. So this consciousness of seeing misery as mercy of God and trying to connect with God in the midst of calamities comes by studying Srimad Bhagavatam regularly. So that's what I think.
we are excited to get exhausted, but you're excited to get more closer to God. That's how I can see.
Okay. We are supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
Yes, Mathis. Okay.
So, we live in this world. First of all, please accept my condolences. I'm listening to your lectures here, and I think I'm going to be very regular listening to you. Honored. So, the question was that we are living in this world, and there are so many distractions. So, if I decide to take Harinam, but in next moment, I think I'll lose my concentration or focus, and then I'm thinking of something else. So can you give us some pointers how we can be steadily getting the name? What can we be thinking of when we are thinking?
Yes.
Repeat it.
Yeah. She's asking that what helps us to constantly think of the holy name of Krishna, because sometimes we do so, sometimes we get distracted. Sometimes we may not be able to steadily focus on the holy name. That's what is your question, right? My answer is that we should try to keep ourselves in the company of devotees who constantly remind us that we have to take shelter of Krishna. We can attend classes like this. We can come for spiritual gatherings like this. We can attend Kirtan Melas, Sadhu Sangha retreat, all that. So that we are constantly reminded of our responsibility, our duty to chant the holy names of the Lord, right? And in the company of devotees, when we hear from devotees, there is constant rejuvenation of our enthusiasm. Our commitment to the path will be rejuvenated. So, association of devotees is essential for us to commit to the path, for us to not get distracted or deviated from the path. Right? Deviations are there. Maya is constantly trying to pull us out of this path, but devotees are trying to pull us inside the path. Right? So the more devotees are connected to, the more you keep hearing, the more you are inspired. For example, you are saying that sometimes I feel like chanting, sometimes I get distracted. Sometimes that enthusiasm will just go down. It's like charging battery. So now the charging is 10% here. Okay, how long it will survive? Okay, so 1 hour more, 2 hours more, then it will be dead. But if you charge your spiritual batteries by sincere Sravana, okay, and the charging will last for whatever time. It depends, depending on the phone model, depending on the battery capacity. Sometimes you charge 100% in the morning, by the end of the day, it's gone. Sometimes some phones may come for 2 days or 3 days. Sometimes battery will drain in half day only, right? Similarly, depending on our bandwidth, we have to hear Harikatha. When we hear from devotees, that inspiration that we get from that hearing will keep us surviving for next few days. Okay, if you are forgetting after 1 day, hear every day. If you are forgetting after half day, hear twice a day. If you are forgetting once in a week, hear every week. Something like that. So basically, by hearing from devotees, we will recommit to the path. We have to recommit every day. That's why it said it's Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Thank you.
My question is along the similar lines. Like I'm in the very beginning of this path, and sometimes the pull from the other side is stronger than the pull from Krishna consciousness. Like sometimes, when other people who are not in the path on the path argue, like, well, have you seen it? Like, have you seen God? Or all these questions. I sometimes cannot answer, or sometimes I don't want to argue, but they leave certain questions and doubts in my mind, and if I take one step forward, I take 2 steps backward sometimes. So I mean, you mentioned that we have to be constantly in the path, but how do we even eliminate that slight doubt? Because we heard from all the stories that slight doubt could stop God from helping us. So I mean, how do we?
Yes, it's a genuine question. She's asking, I take 1 step forward to Krishna consciousness, but some people challenge me. They ask so many questions that I'm unable to answer. And I don't want to answer or argue, but still their questions may leave some doubt in me, and that will slacken my enthusiasm, whatever. So those who don't follow the path of bhakti are of 2 categories. One is na bhajanti, second is avajananti. One is ignorant, second is arrogant. When arrogant people are challenging us, we should stay away from them. When ignorant people are asking genuine questions, we should try to teach them to the best of our ability. Okay. But if we don't have the bandwidth even to teach innocent people, ignorant people, we need to understand I need a little more training. So instead of taking the challenges of such people seriously, we should first equip ourselves with the necessary maturity, necessary philosophical understanding by studying Shastra. Then you will be able to answer those questions. Right? So bhakti cannot be done just based on some sentimental faith, blind faith. You need to have strong philosophical foundation also. For that, you need to read Shastra. Initially, you just began the path and somebody is just challenging you, you may not be able to answer them. And that should not slacken your faith also, because in day one, you cannot get everything. Somebody just joins engineering college, civil engineering. Some naive person will ask him, why only civil engineering? He said, I didn't get seat in any other way. So I had to take this. Sometimes that could be a reason. But some people have a great zeal. Yes, I want to be a civil engineer. I want to become an architect. I want to build bridges and buildings, etc. He may have some initial enthusiasm, but because he's a beginner, he's in first year, first month, first semester, he doesn't have great understanding to defend his excitement. Right? So he has to complete his 4 years. So you ask first year civil engineering student who consciously accepted civil engineering department, his answer is at one level. You ask fourth year student, BTech, his answer is a higher level. You ask the master's student, his answer is a higher level. You ask the PhD fellow, he will give a much mature answer. Okay, commitment is there in the first year student also, BTech fellow also, right? But maturity is not there. There's some little commitment. Yes, there's some excitement, there's enthusiasm. That is Komala Shraddha. There's very little faith. But it has to increase. How will it increase? You should study. You should clear first semester, then second semester, third, 8th semester. We have to clear 4 years BTech, then 2 years masters, and whatever number of years PhD. Whatever time it takes to write the thesis and get it approved. So someone said, I have to abandon my research to write my thesis. Right? So anyways, it's a long path. So a beginner, don't get affected by it. You please continue the path, right? Keep reading the scriptures. After some time, you will be able to smash all the arguments. Okay.
So, what is the symptom that you're doing in bhakti, and what is the symptom that you're falling down from the path? Like you're on the right path, and what are the symptoms that you're distracted from the path?
This answer is very elaborate, but I'll give a very short answer. It's 9:27 p.m. I have class at 3:30 a.m. So, what is the symptom that you are advancing in bhakti? And what is the symptom that you are not advancing in bhakti or degrading or getting sidetracked? Answer to both questions is the same. Just check how much are you being enthusiastic and excited in chanting the names of Krishna and doing various services in Krishna consciousness. And also check how much lust is still there in the heart, how much pride is still there in the heart, how much envy is still there in the heart. So check the anartha levels, right? And check the service activity enthusiasm levels. So that's where we stand in bhakti. So as we are progressing, attachment to Krishna will increase, detachment from matter will decrease. But if we are not advancing, this will increase and this will decrease. So that's the check. Okay.
Short and simple answer.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you were talking about other Vaishnavism, like Sri Vaishnavism and all that, right? So in that there is one concept they talk about something called Sharanagati. So is bhakti, is a Sharanagati a prerequisite to bhakti or the consequence of bhakti? Like once you do bhakti,
in one sense, they overlap with each other. Bhakti means to take shelter of Krishna. Okay. So bhakti is Navavidha. Okay. So Sharanagati is one of them. Okay. Atma Nivedanam is Sharanagati. Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. Complete surrender to Krishna. Sarva Dharman Parityajya Ma Ekam Sharanam Raja. That is Sharanagati. That is bhakti. Okay. So there is an overlap. It's not that they are different stages. So there is an overlap. You can equate them conveniently. But if you want to be very precise, Sharanagati is the ultimate step of bhakti. Okay.
so it's a consequence of, like, if you do a lot of bhakti.
Again, in the beginning stage of bhakti or Sharanagati is this much. At the ultimate stage of bhakti is this much. But it's there everywhere, throughout.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Invite one picture with.
Okay.
So you're here. Some of you can switch. Which can sit. Yeah. After this, there are few books outside. Written by Prabhu. A few books, nearly 30 books Prabhu has written. If you are interested, please stay.
You have a look at the books and then if you're interested, you can take it. Yeah. I can take a picture. Can I give you some?
Yeah, some stool. Hare Krishna, class is over.
So
We'll end the class. Thank you.
It is something there.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.